Welcome back. We had just done the conditional formatting when it's equal to 0. So let's apply the conditional formatting when it's not equal to 0. So let me do that. I go again to conditional formatting home, then conditional formatting. I'm going to say new rule, format cells that contain, and now I want to say if the cell value is not equal to, in this case 0, I'd like there to be a format, and that format that I like is really to have the colors a bit different. So I'm going to say I want this red color to be applied and it's not equal to 0, and I'll click OK directly, and I think that should highlight that as is. And then you have my conditional formatting. I'm going to copy this, and I want to apply that conditional formatting to the totals, because I also need to have the total. So at this point I want to have the total of all the differences. Let's say is equals to the sum, and select the total of the differences, which is there. Add everything, and I want to apply this same conditional formatting at this point. And basically what I am doing now is that whenever there's a change, we'll see that reflected here in terms of the total changes. Now the moment of truth to test whether this is working, and what I want to do is I want to go to the input S sheet, and I want to just assume that the sales, the local sales for instance, are growing at a higher rate. And so here we're 12%. Let me just copy this and put it at the top, and I'm just going to change this to 20%. And copy this to the right, Control R, and this is what is currently being used. Now what I expect is that if I go to my track sheet and I update the financial model, remember I am on manual calculation mode. So if you come here, calculation options, I'm on manual, and that is intentional so that I can be able to illustrate these kind of points. So now if I change, I should expect that there's going to be some changes in the P&L, in the balance sheet, and so forth, and this should be able to show me if this is the existing output of the financial model that I've copied here, then what is going to be the new output. So let me do that very quickly. Control Alt F9, and there you have it. If I do that, you start seeing the differences, and these all the changes that are going to be there. Now of course, if you look at these, the percentages are showing as 0, so I need to come here, Control Shift P to show those percentages. And now this is giving me it's telling me that over the life we expect that the turnover is going to increase by 20.75%. The profits in this case are going to increase by 11.92% because of the change in the turnover in this case. And if you go ahead, you can see in the balance sheet the PP&D is not affected at all. The inventories will get affected, the cash will get affected, all the items that get affected. And in essence what we are saying is that 42 items are going to get affected in our financial statements. And this is why the track sheet is such an important thing. And so generally then what I would do at this case, I would select this, I would copy these and press Control Shift plus to insert another column for that. And then I would probably want to rename these and say probably this is going to be version 02D for argument's sake. And probably I need to save this as a different version, but let's say it's 02D, and I can give it any other name of course that I want to give it. But if I copy this, I can drop this in here, paste special, and say I want to paste special in this case values. And the formatting is already there, as you can tell. So it tells me the time when this was created. Remember, this was 1st of March 2022 at 16:35. This at 16:50. And now, with that, if I refresh my financial model, remember I'm comparing 02D to 02D. I get that the values all go to 0. So if I go back then to my financial model, to my input S where I was previously, and I change back the inputs that I had changed here, and I clear this because that was just a dummy that I was making. If I come back and I want to compare now once again with 02D, so I'm comparing really the new output, which should be 02C. If I refresh this to 02C, and I'm comparing it, in this case the output to 02C, you'll see that the values are the same, but the historical output that I had of 02D, I can always call it back and compare using that 02D. And if I click there, F9, you see the differences once again. This is what a track sheet is. This is how a track sheet helps you to track the changes in your financial statements as you're moving through your financial model. I'm going to stop there. It's a good tool to use. You don't have to create it all the time, but good that you know how that is done. Thank you very much.